Definitely not. He never told me about the publicity element of this thing. The shoot was fine. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it.
What rule will I never break?
I will never steal money from a charity.
Well, that's hard to say because what rules are not worth breaking?
Rules make you happy, Richard. Coloring in the lines helps us all to maintain our mutual respect.
Don't bunt with 2 strikes.
To love unconditionally.
The last thing I Googled, I'll tell the truth.
Marlon Brando.
For some strange reason, I started as a Giants fan years ago in the NFL, and as Eli Manning has in a slump, and his brother has come back, I've kind of diverted my fandom to his brother.
You shift between the Manning brothers, I see.
No, I'm always both their fans, but I've really, it's become more interesting to follow Peyton. So the last thing I actually Googled was Peyton Manning this morning. I wanted to see if they won that game.
I think I was looking pros and cons of a 15-year mortgage.
I'm programming a series of films from the 80s, so I was refreshing my memory on films of 1984 through 87. So.
You answer what I'm thinking. I'm old and my brain goes slower than yours.
Recently a lot of Miles Davis.
Whenever people say that, I always think of the Choppers in Apocalypse Now, Flight of the Valkyries, you know what I mean? Like,
aquarium. You know, it goes doo doo doo.
Releasing Boyhood.
Yeah, this is a big risk. Ellar and Lorelei, they worked on this movie for 12 years, and had the experience of making a movie, but never had the experience of releasing a movie till this. And it's a very different, precarious and wild ride, this part of it.
a risk in the arts is necessary to be a living organism in the arts. I mean, you know, whenever you stop taking risks or putting yourself in positions where you can fail, you cease to live.
But you gotta, it feels good to teeter on risk all the time. I mean, it feels necessary. I knew that spirit was in Ethan the very first time I met him, and the fact that he wanted to work with me on a film. And this was the height of Ethan's, early wave of getting offered every film in Hollywood. Moment he runs off to Vienna with me to make a film that he thought would be really impossible to make work for no money. That's when I thought, okay, this guy is following no one's path but his own.
I think the way that Ellar thinks is very rule-breaking. I don't feel like he's really succumbed to any of the normal social pressures of who you're supposed to be according to your peer group or the world at large. And he's very much his own person and confident about who he is. I think that in itself is the ultimate rule breaking.
When Slacker came out, people who were paying attention were all telling me to go see that movie. And from the opening monologue, there's a great monologue that starts Slacker, and it's a brilliant speech about the different roads we can take. And you can't watch that. You Google that speech, you see the speech, and you know exactly when I knew Rick was a rule breaker.
You portray a real woman and a real mother, and that is beautiful and raw and, real. And that is against the rules.
Thank you, Ellar.
We can break our 12-year rule. Maybe it doesn't have to be 12 years next time.
Yeah. Well, we've got a 12-year rule and a 9-year rule. Are we ending this talk show?